Welcome, all my friends, to the show that never ends. Well, for another week, it won't end. Um, Today, we are going to talk about sky replacement again. And I don't know if we got time for anything else or not. If we do, we do. If we don't. If you guys have ideas for what to talk about on here, let me know. I'd be happy to show what I know. And if I don't know it, I'll try to research it. Or if I can't research it, I just won't cover it. So there. Because on a scale of 1 to 10, I consider myself probably about a 5. I am not super knowledgeable, but I know what works for me and what I do a lot of. So, a second, let me let somebody in. Pending approval. Oh, come on. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. That fixes that. Close that. Hide that. And we're going to get started. Okay. Let's go to screen share and Photoshop, and I have an image open that I'm using. There is this guy who took us on a field trip up to Mammoth a couple years ago. I don't know if you all know him, Dan Holmes. If you ever get a chance to go out and play with Dan out in the wild, it's well worth it. He's willing to show you everything he does, how he does it, and he doesn't hold back. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a sky into here. And some of the things about the skies that you have to remember is when you're working with skies, you got to match it up to your image. Because if I tried to drop in a super duper sunset sky, oh man, gonna wait for this. There we go.
See, I told you can do wild things.
It took me a little while to get that one to go, but let's go into sunsets. So if we did a sunset sky, it just doesn't quite match up. So we'll go into try a blue sky. No. Just turn, there we go. That works a whole lot better right there. That sky matches up pretty dang good for him. Some of the things that you have on the left-hand side, you have your move tool. So I don't know if it works. Let's click on this for now, hit V for move. Okay, the keyboard shortcuts work for this as well. So sky move is V, and you move the sky around. And let's leave a little bit off to the side there just for fun. You'll notice that I left some space on the side. I did that on purpose. This was not an accident. What I want to do is I want to test this tool right here, which is the extend or reduce sky area. So B for brush. And up at the top toolbar, if you can see that on my screen up there, you have the plus and you have the minus. And right now my brush is set at 150, which is big enough to cover that, but I'm going to go a little bit bigger up to like 300 and just kind of paint in. And that's not painting in like it's supposed to, apparently. I've never used it before.
Oh.
So I don't know. It was supposed to paint in more sky.
Wouldn't you use scale to do that?
You can do scale as well, but this was supposed to extend or reduce the sky area. So I was trying to extend the sky area by painting in.
Huh.
Is there a certain layer you're not on?
I'm on the proper layer, I think. Let me take the opacity up 100%. No.
Michael?
Yes.
I think the purpose of that brush is, for instance, if you had holes in the image, it will bring the sky into it. For instance, if it wasn't getting all the way into where the trees are, you can go ahead and use it to bring that in at that point.
Okay, what I'm seeing right now is if I hit the B for brush and I paint over tree limbs, it's
Oh, yeah,
painting them
It's
out.
erasing them. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
Yep.
what it does. And if you want to paint them back in, you hold the option, or you paint out the sky
Oh.
with the option key.
Hmm.
Okay, so that answers that. Now that we know we're working together, cool. And then the hand tool, obviously, if it's really big, Command plus, the hand tool will move the entire image around. Command 0, and obviously the zoom tool will zoom in or zoom out. You get to go there. Okay, zoom in on Dan a little bit. And we're going to start with the shift edge. The shift edge key, if we'll take it all the way to the left, and what it did was basically worked around him. If I go all the way to the right, it goes over the top of him. So I'm going to take it, let's do a -10 just for fun. And fade edge, let's go to 50 where it's supposed to start at. I've been playing around all morning with this, trying to figure it out. So the fade edge basically fades over the top of him, or you can see if I go all the way left down to 0 along his hat at the very top up here, you can see it faded into his hat fairly well. Take it up to 50%. And it should come out. And then if I fade edge to the right, I don't see what it's doing at all. So
Looks like it just really whited out his hat.
So does that make it look like he was dropped into the picture more?
it kind of sort of does, or it, at 50%, you can see it's into his hair there.
Mhm.
And it, well, let's set that to 0 too. And it looks like you cannot double click on these to bring them back to center like you can with most of the other tools. So if I shift edge to the right, it goes into his hat and makes his hat disappear. To the left, it brings his hat back out a little bit more. So
I think you can modify it when you go back into the layers because you're putting new layers in. So there's
right. When it's in the layers, well, it's not showing the layers yet till after you click OK on this. And so we'll go into sky adjustments. And with the sky adjustments, you can make the sky go a little bit darker so it matches him better, or if it's a bright day, go a little bit brighter.
Mike,
Yes.
since this goes into layers, if you make a whole bunch of changes, it only goes into one new layer, correct?
It goes into a group.
Okay, so that you
each
can
one
go
of
back and
these,
edit.
the shift edge, the sky adjustments, the scale, or sky adjustments, the foreground adjustments, the
Mhm.
lighting mode, all these will go into, well, let me finish it up and then I'll show you what it does.
Okay.
If you want to do a little warmer temperature in the sky, you can go to the right, and I'm sliding it as far as I can go just to really show them to you. And then all the way to the left will bring you more of a blue sky. And then scale, we can go bigger or we can go a lot smaller. And you can see if you go too small that the sky just doesn't quite work. And then again with the flip, right under scale, you have flip. You can change the clouds so that the clouds match the lighting. which some people can spot that instantly. I can't. I'll go with that. I like that. And then I'll close sky adjustments. And then you got foreground adjustments. And depending on the type of day, I like multiply most of the time, but you can also do screen, which brightens. Whoa,
Whoa.
that one don't work. Not for this one. We'll go multiply. Set that back to 50, which is the starting point. Color adjustment. So lighting adjustments 50, or actually you start at 0 on this one. But if you take it up, I think the higher it goes on this particular image, the better it looks. And then you can do color adjustment, which this is kind of like cooking with garlic. The more you use, the worse it gets. So you got to be careful. And then output, you can output to new layers or duplicate layer. I'm going to do new layers. Click OK. And you can see that it has sky replacement group. So you can close that and just have the group. When you open it up, you have sky brightness, temperature, your sky, and it has the mask on there. And then the foreground lighting and foreground color. All those are in the group. So you can adjust, let's say you want to adjust the sky temperature. You can go in and really tweak it so it's god awful ugly.
Nice.
I do that very well. I do ugly all the time.
Stop.
Hey, have you seen my work?
And you can mask that out too, because there's a mask thing up on top.
Right. You could also mask it out as well. So you could tweak it and do all kinds of weird stuff to it. Whoa. I went too far back in my Command Z's. And then if you get it to where you kind of sort of like it, this is what Matt showed today. What I saw is I'm going to hit Command Option Shift E, which is what I call the claw, and make a layer with all the images smashed down into one.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Camera Raw. So you go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And here's where you can adjust the temperature, bump it up a little bit. Auto white balance, see what that does. It goes a little bit too orangey. You can drop your exposure a little bit. You can do dehaze, a little bit of clarity, a little bit of texture to sharpen it down a little bit. Touch the vibrance a little bit, click OK.
Yep.
Helps you turn those on. And you see, doing the Camera Raw, you can do even more with the sky that you put in there. So it almost looks like that's a legitimate picture, almost. But as you get around the edges of the leaves, there's a little bit of little frosting going around there as well. So that's one of the things you have to be aware of.
Well, before you do your flattening to that level 1, you can clean it up in the section where the gray, those layers.
Right. Yeah, you can go in and clean it up as well. I'm just scooting through this really fast, and basically you just need to sit and play with it and enjoy it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Why is my chat all of a sudden showing up? Boom, gone. Okay. Another thing you can do is, here we have this image. You don't have to use a sky. You can use whatever you want. So that drops in, that's the sky we used with Dan. And you can see the little haze right there. So if we shift edge inward or down, you get a bigger haze around her. If you go up with the shift edge, the haze goes away. So that's one of the things you can fix as well. But I'm going to change it from there. And I'm going to click on the plus button. Let me cancel that. Down here, you have the plus button. You got your trash can, your plus button, and create a new group. So we're going to do create a new sky. And I'm just going to go in and pick moon. And it's going to say you can't do that probably.
No, there you
Oh, it's
go.
going to allow it. Okay, cool. So you can do a lot of changes to it. And again, you just go in and start editing with you can see if I go left, you get this big screen behind her. If I go right, it starts digging into her shirt and her arms. So you got to be careful how far you go with it on the shift edge. Sky adjustments, you can change the brightness to brighter, less bright. Temperature, obviously, you can change. So I've gone from an orange to a bluish tint. Bump it up to the right, it goes all the way orange. And then scale. Make it bigger. And wait for the spinning wheel of death to finish. Come on, you can do this. You're highly skilled and trained. I guess I scaled it too big and it didn't want to play. Whoa.
I was playing with this one time. I tried too many and it just closed down Photoshop.
It might do that because it's new and
Just like a new toy, got to break it on the first day.
and it wants to break right now too. It's not wanting to play.
What I've heard, that's a Mac problem more than a PC problem. True. I think
Well,
Adobe's
plus-
admit. I think Adobe's actually admitted they're going to put out a fix on that.
Plus, this is shot with the Nikon camera versus a Canon camera too, right? Yeah, it's not wanting to play when I scale that particular image.
There you go.
There we go. Whoops. Okay.
One of the things I've talked about on some of the forums is that the background on an image like this has to look like a sky for the AI to really be effective. So what you might do is try putting selecting it and changing the color of the background to a blue or something like that.
That would probably be a good idea. Because I noticed the first time I tried this, it said no sky was detected,
Right.
but it would drop in a regular sky, like their sky popped in without a problem.
Yep.
But when I tried to do my own images, it wouldn't let me play. So.
You got to scale that, I think.
So it just depends on what it wants to do. So I'm going to hit cancel on that, close her, don't save, goodbye. Get rid of Dan. Bye-bye, Dan. Thanks for the adventure. It was fun.
Michael, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you, maybe.
Good. So once you you do all your sky replacement and you hit OK, and then it goes and it gives you your group. You can. It doesn't seem like you can go back in to all of those different filters and play with it again.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that right now then. So we'll go to edit, sky replacement. Whoa, that's not the sky I'm looking for. Let's go to sunsets. Yeah, we'll do that one. And so we'll kind of tweak this up a little bit, get it set, brightness. Yeah, bring it down. I like the less bright on that. Temperature, warm a little bit. Sky adjustments we did. Foreground adjustment, multiply. Obviously, it's a darker image, so it has to be multiply. Lighting adjustment. Color adjustment. Tweak it all the way to the right. Okay, it darkens it way down if you go color adjustment to the right. And we're going to output to new layers, click OK. Now we've got all these layers to play with.
Uh-huh.
So you've got your sky. Well, let's go ahead and open this up really wide so we can see what we're. Okay, sky brightness. So we click on sky brightness. And you can change the sky brightness and the contrast. So it does brightness and contrast. And then we got sky temperature. Double click on that. You can change the temperature of the sky. So we'll warm it up with some yellows and some reds. Ooh, that's pretty cool. And then here, these are for making your background match up. So you just go into the mask and then get your brush, B for brush. And that gets rid of the sky or gets rid of your background. So we'll go into black. And that gets rid of the sky. So if you have sky that's coming over, like say the mountain, and it's digging into the mountain a little bit too far, you can take your brush and just paint the sky out of the mountain or whatever it's into. So you can do that on your mask there. Foreground lighting. I don't know how much lighting it did on here, but let's. Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot of lighting on the foreground, so on this particular image. And then foreground color, double click on that and you can change your curves. So we can go to red, bump up the reds a little bit, tweak the curve that way, tweak the curve that way. So it's totally warped. And blue, let's go ahead and tweak it the wrong way, go that way, go that way, and just play. And you can see that just totally warped everything out with that color. Actually, I kind of like it that way.
Actually, it's not bad.
A happy mistake.
And that location does not work well in the late afternoon, by the way.
This was shot early morning.
I know. And
That
I went
was-
there. We went there late in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
No
It was
bueno.
ugly.
No bueno.
Oh, did you guys just shoot that recently when you went up
Yeah.
there?
We didn't shoot it. We took one look at it and said, yeah, this isn't going to work.
We drove away. It was bad.
Oh, that sucks. So let's go ahead and we got that. So let's, for fun, Command, Option, Shift, or Control, Alt, Shift, E, bring it up on its own layer. Go to Filter, Nik Collection, Color Effects Pro,
Mm.
and we're going to put a dark and light and center on there, I hope. Get rid of dynamic skin softener because we're softening skin. Center luminosity, let's bring up a little bit. Border luminosity. Just tweaking the heck out of it for fun. Does anybody else have the red color show up when they run their Nik filters right now, or it's just me?
It's
No,
the first time I've seen that.
yeah.
Okay, that's me then. I've been having issues with it for a while now.
Huh. That's weird.
I agree. So before and after, you got your vignette, probably too much vignette on there, but
Gets the point.
Mhm.
yeah, I did it on purpose. So I tweaked it really hard. So when you start, let's go ahead and that was the original image. And that was our final product.
Wow. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, much improved.
It's just, in fact, I like it. Well, probably if I did a little bit less on the dark outside vignette, it would be better. But
Agree.
I mean,
Better than that.
from there to there, you would never know.
Mm-mm. You can take your sunglasses off.
You went from a 70 to a 78.
9 Mel, that was bad.
Oh,
Poor Mike.
Wow.
Daggers thrown.
Et tu, Brutus. So you can see you've got something to play with now. I mean,
Mhm.
just get in and play.
I want to do that erase thing with the sky. I didn't get the whole thing, so I need to go back and look at that.
Erasing out like
Branches and stuff.
branches. Yeah, I just figured that out. So if you got something you need to get rid of, that's perfect for it.
So you just hit the brush key and you just brush over it.
Well, let's go ahead and let me close that one. Command W, don't save. Go to bridge. Party. Well, let's do this image for fun. We have a sky here.
Mhm.
And we go to edit, sky replacement, and wait. And that's not going to work because the sky does not match. So we need a blue sky. Let's go with that one. And go down to B for brush, which is the sky brush. And we're going to paint out top half of the flagpole. Wow. That works pretty dang good.
Yeah, works better than cloning and all that. Cool.
Only where the sky is at. If you try to do it, if I try to take out the flagpole inside the tree, let me zoom in so you can see. B for brush, it takes everything out.
Mm.
So all you have is sky.
But it makes you almost want to drop a sky in so that you can get rid of stuff that easily.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
I like the shortcut. Boy, that's good. That's really good.
I like that. That's cool.
That's a great.
Sold.
Let's go down. Oh,
My boyfriend's buddies with the guy who flew that plane,
really?
and they've been he works at JPL. So this guy's that was his last flight.
Oh man, that was. I remember when they first started with the shuttle. I was stationed at Vandenberg, and we got to go out to Edwards Air Force Base,
Mhm.
and we were told not to bring our cameras.
Wow.
Which means everybody brought their
Painful.
cameras.
Yeah, that's painful.
No, just me because I'm a photographer, and
They explain that 5 years missing out of your life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing to see, move along.
Yeah, exactly.
I went out for one of the landings, Discovery, when it came in. That was fun. And I went out to watch the Jaeger do the around the world
Oh wow.
flight. That was fun.
There's a lot of history out there. In fact, they were working on the B-1 and B-2 bombers out there
Yeah.
when we weren't supposed to be looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luckily, we all had top secret security clearances, so we're allowed to look. But it was interesting. We went out for a softball match between Vandenberg law enforcement and Edwards law enforcement. Our colonels got together and had a little side bet going on, and it was fun. It was a good trip. So that is a sky replacement tool.
I think that's the best thing they've come up with in a long time.
It is. It is. If we do the healing brush, it gets rid of the pole really quick too.
So at least a white residue, it looks like. Well,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah. Not so good. Yeah, there we go.
Actually-
All right.
Actually,
Good. That's better. Okay.
The floating flag.
the floating flag got rid of the dust spot too. And we'll get rid of the street right here on the bottom right. Sort of.
Think I can.
Not so good. That's not bad though. Yeah, this photograph never occurred. It was supposed to fly through that space right there, and I was going to click the shot, and it never showed up there.
Ah.
I had to composite it and put it in.
I finally shot them out of my doctor's window in Burbank because everywhere I went, they weren't coming either, So that's where I was when it flew over.
I was on the base waiting for it to show up, and it showed up, but just not where I wanted it to, because I had one camera set here, one camera set on the headquarters building, and there it is.
All right.
Okay, cool. Anybody have any questions about what we didn't cover today?
You want to see
Very
a really
cool.
quick trick I just learned for getting rid of that flagpole?
Sure.
Throw the image back up.
Okay, if I can find it. And I think I should probably share screen. It would help. And do Photoshop. Okay.
Okay, now throw a blank layer on top of that. Just a
I
blank
can-
clear label layer.
I can do that.
There you go. Okay. Now get a hard black brush about the size, just wider than the pole.
Okay.
Okay, now
And you want a hard edge?
hard edge.
You got it.
Now a little bit smaller brush, just wider than the pole. Now make a black dot right at the top of the ball there. Now go down to the bottom of the pole and do a shift and click. Now go up to the blank layer and do a control click. That selects that. Now turn off that top layer.
Hang on, let me, I was
Oh, you got
playing.
rid of the selection somehow.
Yeah, I did something. Hang on.
Yeah. Shift click.
Okay.
Okay, now get rid of the, just turn off the top layer. Now go down to the bottom layer and do a content aware fill. Edit content aware fill.
Wow, cool.
I have a shortcut for that. I hit F3 and it does my content aware fill.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that is saving me so much time and it's so much cleaner than
Can you go
using-
over that one more time?
Yeah, we can do that.
New blank layer,
Okay.
hard brush. Hard black brush.
Control click.
I was waiting for her to finish her notes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, Command or Control click on your icon right here, which selects whatever is on there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then from there we go to
Turn off the
Edit.
top layer.
turn off top layer. That would help.
Go to the bottom layer.
And I'm on the bottom layer. So we click on Edit, Fill, Content Aware Fill, 100% opacity, click OK. And then Command D to deselect.
Right.
Which is, I have an action for that. So I just hit the action and make it go.
Yeah.
That's one that,
Right, go to your edit menu. Did they move content aware fill out of that?
no, let
What's
me,
that other one that I saw there?
okay. Let's go to edit. They have content aware fill.
Right.
This is one that they added a couple of episodes ago, and it takes the sampling area is the green. So if you don't want the flag to be sample area, you paint out the flag so it won't sample the flag.
Okay.
And then you just click OK, and then Command D to deselect, and it does that as well.
Ooh, that could be really helpful in some situations.
That is very helpful.
To get it to stop copying feet or something that you don't want.
That,
Exactly.
I like that.
That technique for that I showed you works really well for getting rid of, like, if you're at a baseball game and you're shooting behind the diamond and you got the fence, the fence lines in. Just go click, 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 click on making your black lines over the fence, and then do your content aware fill, and it's just like magic. The fence just disappears.
Right. You can also do like a marquee the pole,
There you go.
and then, well, I have an action, but you go edit, fill, content aware fill, click OK,
Dang.
Command D to deselect, and there you go. So as long as you got your selection going on, you can do your content aware fill. So thank you, Hutch.
Yep.
That's great.
It worked great. Thank you. So if I took my lasso tool and got rid of or selected that, which took me 3 hours to select to get out of it, hit F3, which is my action. There we go. We got rid of that. And then F3 to get rid of that. Okay. Now we have a perfect picture.
Is this a political statement?
No, ma'am. I'm not doing political statements today.
To get rid of all that man-made crap that's in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
we're
I
back
can,
to what it was. From here
Wow, what a picture.
now I can enter this in landscape. You got to have fun with it, folks. You got to have fun with it.
Only after you finish doing your digital gardening, right?
Exactly, as Dan calls it,
Got
digital
it.
gardening.
Digital gardening. funny.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was fun. Okay, so next week will be our last week for a few weeks. I'm going to take a short vacation, actually a long drive for a vacation. It's 14 hours to get there, but
Ooh.
Where?
Meridian, Idaho.
Okay.
We are packing our bags and relocating.
Oh, moving.
Moving, yes.
Okay.
We're going to move the 4th of December, I think is the day we're pulling out. So,
Oh.
and then we'll be back on the air. I'll send Mel a email to send out to everybody, and we'll be back and playing. Feel
Just
free
in
to,
time to have a Christmas party.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be back for Christmas for my family. So we'll be back. FedEx is here. Hang on. I'll let them.